give us 2 ears and 1 mouth? To listen more than we talk. So listen. Make a smooth transition from one topic to another. Right? So have your CV in front of you. It's always good to have your CV in front of you so that you can go over it and go through your background. Observe nonverbal behavior. What's nonverbal behavior? Body language. So if you're sitting in the interview and you're doing this the whole interview, or if you're doing this, or if you're doing one, I mean, if you're just like this, that's sending a huge signal, right? They say showing your hands is a sign of honesty when you show your hands, right? Good eye contact, and you sit open, right? And you don't stare at the wall. You scan the room like this, right? You scan the room. You make eye contact with everyone that's there. I've interviewed, some very talented female candidates, and I remember in the interviews, man, they knocked the interview just out. They did an outstanding job because of the eye contact. Because of the eye contact, they're very not shy. Came in, and the manager was like, "Man, very good person." So make smooth transition, make it eye contact. Watch your nonverbal communication. Take notes. This is a simple thing. Take notes. When the manager is talking, take notes. Just write down.
Me or the...
Well, both. So
both.
if you're interviewing someone, it's a candidate, take notes on the CV. Right? What does note taking say? What message does that send to the person when you're taking notes? Interested in what else?
I'm listening, bro.
I'm listening. And what you're saying is important. What you're saying is important. So exactly. And so if you're interviewing an interviewer and you're interviewing a candidate when they're talking, or if you're being interviewed, right? You got to take notes and then conclude the interview.
Excuse me. If I'm taking notes for someone is making an interview to me, what shall I write, or what is better to write for me?
Whatever they're saying. I mean, you don't want to put shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. No, you want to write something.
Just fake notes?
No. You say, tell me about. If they say, let me tell you about the group. They say, let me tell you about the company. You don't have to write down everything they say, but you can write down the year, group size 5, manager been here 10 years, just short notes.
Sometimes those can be used to demonstrate something. Let's say you get asked to do something or asked to describe something, so you can just throw it.
Yeah. So it's a good idea to bring pen with you, your own pen, because the worst thing you want to do is to be in the interview. Can I see your pen? Okay. You have a resume? No. Bring your own pen and paper with you. So very, very important. These are little things that make a difference, because most candidates don't do this. And so when you do it, you're different. You're remembered. After the interview is over, man, there was something about this guy, something about this lady. She did something different. I said so many interviews, and I hear the feedback afterwards, right? So we just went through those. So candidate practice, so we were gonna go through this, but for time's sake, we're gonna go through a practice interview. This is not in your assignment books, but I have here a couple, because the interview and the interviewee, it's almost like a dance. The interview is almost like a dance. So just real quickly, so the interviewer was going to welcome. We want to welcome you to this interview and thank you for attending this interview, right? The candidate then makes an introduction. What do you say at the beginning of the interview when you sit down? When they say, hello, thank you for coming in, as a candidate, what's the first thing you say?
Your name.
Your name. Anyone else? Thank you. You always thank them. You don't go in, hello, my name is da 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 da. You first say, well, first of all, I want to thank you for selecting me for this interview.
Yeah.
Wallahi. They're going to say, sign here, brother. Sign, come. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Because many candidates don't do that. It's just a simple thing. They say, okay, tell us about yourself. And you're telling them, no, it's not about me. I want to thank you for all the candidates that were out there. You selected me. I want to thank you for this opportunity. Then you go into, what do you say then? My name is so-and-so. I like to walk on the beach. I like strawberry ice cream. Do you say all that?
No personal.
No, something short. My name is Will Gaddison. I bring X number of years of experience. My education is this. I'm very interested in this role, and I look forward to our discussion here today. See? Something short and sweet. They're like, oh, okay. Okay. So you put it back on them. Something short, sweet, and then tell me about your current role. So they're going to ask you questions about your current role. What are you doing now? So you go through that. You go through that. And then tell me about your interests. Tell me about this. So question. How do you conclude the interview? How do you finish the interview? How do you close the interview? Thanks again. And then what do you say?
Good luck. Comments.
I'm looking for your feedback.
Okay, I'm looking for your feedback. Okay, feedback. What else? What else do you do?
Be sure that information
As a candidate?
It's a big one. It's a big one. You got it. You got to do this one I'm telling you, this is a big one. You must do this.
Ask a few questions.
Ask a few questions. At the end of the interview, you ask questions.
About the company, about the...
You have your paper, you have pre-questions already written. Some of your questions, thank you, gentlemen, ladies. Could you tell me more about this role?
About the structure, about the department.
Could you tell me why this role is open? Here's an excellent question that will knock their socks off. During my first few weeks here,
What will be my major?
what are my priorities? What do you want me to focus on? What? Think about that. What have I done right there? I've already put in their mind, oh, he's already with us. Because I said, listen, during my first few weeks with you here, he's thinking, oh, he's with us now. What do you want me to focus on? What are my priorities? I'm letting them know I'm ready to get down to work. If he says, I want you to focus on SAP, then you say, that's good news. Because you know I have 10 years of SAP experience. You see how you connect the two? I want you to focus on this. Really? I've been doing this for 20 years, right? So have questions written down. Just don't think, let me see what questions I have. Let me check it out. What time is lunch here? Right. Listen, never ever, let me tell you this one. Never ever, I say never. Don't never say never and always. I suggest to avoid questions about benefits, salary, vacation, titles. Not the time.
Never ask.
Never the time.
when should I ask for offers or negotiate with them about something?
Here it is. He says, when should I ask? Listen. Once you prove to them two things, you got two assignments. Two things you got to do.
2 tasks.
2 tasks. You have to prove to them you can do the job. You have to prove to them that you want the job.
Mm-hmm.
Prove that you can do the job and you want the job. Once you've done those 2 things,
What's the number?
they're coming. They're coming. But if your first question after the interview, oh great, there's okay, what's my salary? What's my grade code? What's my increase? So number 1, chances are they're not going to answer it. But number 2, oh man, I'm going to say never here. I've never seen it go well.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Since 1994, 1995.
Bad impression.
I'm telling you, I've never seen it go well. Because I sit in the interview after you leave. After you leave, I sit with the manager and I hear the feedback.
Excuse me.
Right?
I have a question I would like to share.
So,
One of
me.
my interviews, at the end, I asked them, is there any certain guidelines or books you would like me to read for this job? Because it was a new role for me as a quality. So I got this job.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but I would like to share that I showed them that I'm interesting to read
Yeah.
about that.
Mumtaz. So what is that? Her comment to the interviewer was, "Thank you. Since this is a new area, what books would you like for me to read about this subject to get me up to speed?" What message does that send to the employer?
I joined already.
I'm ready. I'm hungry to learn. I'm serious about this. Hey, this is important to me. Let me. I want to get all I can about the information about the job. And once you've done that, salary, no problem. A title, no problem. Right? Once it's like once they fall in love with you. Once they fall in love, they will do their best to make competitive offer.
Not always when you ask something they have a good idea about you. Sometimes, in my interview for this career I have, he asked me what you can do with this pen. I tell him I will crush my back.
Okay. Oh yeah, he said hired. So maybe try to look at your creativity, but yeah, you know, these are just tips. These are tips. Again, you can do what you like, but these are I want to give you tips because I want you to be successful. Yeah, so his question is, we're going to talk about that. He says, how do you answer the question about your weaknesses? So what do you say? When I say, okay, tell me about your strengths. Anyone can say about their strengths. What are your strengths? What do you say? Skills. Yeah, your skills. When he says, what are your weaknesses? What do you say for weaknesses? Do you say,
I don't have one.
I get angry and I throw things?
You say good things as a weakness.
Yeah, so you turn a strength into a weakness, or you might say something like, you know what? Yeah, I drive fast, I crash. No, you say something like, you know, my weakness is too much detail. When I work on a project, it's hard for me to release it because I want it to be right before it goes out. So sometimes I get accused of holding too long, caring too much about the quality. I want to fix it so it's too much. But you don't want to say something super negative in that. You say something like, I arrived late, I'm a late sleeper, I have problems with management, I have problems with following directions, right? The weakness, you're honest, but you don't give them all your dirt here, right? Employers know that no one is perfect, right? But they want to know here, is it something that's going to interfere of you doing your job? Something, if it's going to interfere for you to do. So my weakness, I can tell you now, is detail. So someone says, William, do a spreadsheet. Not me, Sam. Not me. Big picture, vision, mission, how else? I can do. Detail, analysis. So what's your weaknesses? Detail. If I have a group, I'm going to hire someone specifically to do the detail because I don't do the detail. Other people may say, my issue is big vision, right? So that's why you have to have both together. Right, so these are key things, and interview tips, I wrote this down. Conduct research on the company, dress for success. I have here arrive on time, right? Arrive on time. I tell my son all the time, to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. To be late is not good. I'll say it again. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to actually be late.